Welcome to Why I Read, session hosted by Pick a Book in collaboration with Barista. I'm Krishan J, your moderator for this event. Before we go in, let me introduce you to Pick a Book. Pick a Book is a global initiative designed to foster the love for reading and personal growth through the wonders of literature. With our presence in 5 different countries, our mission is to help individuals grow to their full potential in terms of personal growth through the magic of books. The Why I Read segment is specifically designed to showcase influential and successful people who are also avid readers, so that they can share their thoughts in terms of how reading helped with their success and also how they believe in the transformative power of books. Now, without further ado, let me introduce you to our esteemed guest for today. It's my great honor to welcome Lubna Morseth. Thank you for being with us.
Hi, my pleasure.
To tell a bit about Lubna, she is an athlete who is not only focusing on her fitness and her sports side, but also giving a little bit of a focus into her literature side. Let's hear what she has to share with us today. Before we begin, I encourage all of you all to have an open mind because we want this to be a broadening experience for everyone. And that being said, let's get ready to be inspired by the stories behind stories. So Lubna, what had initially drawn you to reading, and has that thought evolved over time?
So I've always loved books ever since I was really young, and my parents actually got me, my siblings and I, our first books, which had all those beautiful cover pages with those lovely colorful illustrations and all of those things. So I think that initially that is how we started liking. So me, my siblings, all of us, we really loved reading, and I guess that's how it first started, like the whole liking, whole pictures and all of those things. But now that's also a part of it. When I still read children's books, children's books, and that also plays a part of it. But other than that, the smell of a good book, the feel of the page, and a book with a good storyline, and the fact that you can actually imagine what the story is, right? Rather than seeing something actually happen, you can imagine. You read it and then you can imagine it in your own way. So that's
nice.
Pretty much.
Also, can you recall a specific book that comes into your mind, and what is the significant impact that book caused in your life?
There's no specific book like that for me, but I love something that's in my memory for a long time, and something I'll never forget is the fact that how this author Jacqueline Wilson, how that her writing and her stories, it made me feel when I was really young. I used to read her books. I had a huge collection of her books when I was really young, and those stories just made me feel very comfortable, and just took me to a whole new place where I could actually imagine different scenarios of how, and her writing was just amazing for me, because at that age I found that really fascinating, and that's something that to this day stuck with me.
Nice. So are there any genres or authors that you often go to, and if so, why them?
Yeah, so I love romance novels and anything to do with romance. A good romance story is my thing, my type of thing. Other than that, I don't know why I get I'm drawn to the romance novels, but I just really love that. And other than that, I actually like inspirational books as well, and Atomic Habits. That book is really nice, and then also self-help books. So Atomic Habits.
What do you value most from your reading experience? It could be entertainment, it could be in terms of personal growth. What is it that you mostly value?
So I feel for me, reading is a form of escape, from all things real world. I'm pretty sure all of us have our own problems and all of our personal issues and stuff like that. And for me, I find that reading actually keeps me at peace. I play basketball, as you know, maybe not, but that can be a bit of a bit of pressure at times. So reading can actually help me, calm my mind down, and I tend to focus on one thing. So if I read, I tend to focus on the reading, and I completely forget about everything else. So it's kind of a method of escape for me. I find
just a whole zone just
exactly.
with you and the book. Nice. So with that, How has reading shaped your leadership style and decision-making process?
Since I'm more drawn to the romance stuff, it doesn't really affect me in that way. But like from books such as Atomic Habits and there's a book by Kobe Bryant, all of those things, like once you read that, it just sticks with you, right? So let's say you're someone who is like a very rushed person, and that's the way you lead people. You just like whatever you say goes. Like when you read inspirational books like that, it actually changes your mind. You learn how to move around with people. You learn how to, lead people in a different way. So I guess in some ways I have also changed because of books like that. My leadership style might have changed. I'm not really sure exactly, but people might say otherwise.
I'm pretty sure your teammates will give a good thought on that. And what specific books have had the most significant impact in your life?
My life, like I said, there was this book by Kobe Bryant. He was a legendary basketball player, still is, I guess. So it was like an autobiography of his life. So about what people said, like the quotes in that book, and basically like what he did in his life for basketball, the dedication that he had, and all of those things. It was just very inspirational for me to even read. So I was actually, I was inspired. That book like really opened my mind about different things.
Nice. How does reading help or support your sporting career?
So like I mentioned before, basketball basketball itself is an escape at times, but then at other times it can also be very stressful because let's say like the amount of practice sessions and the stress that comes from outside, as well as your own mental internal stress, right? Because you want to perform better and like you just want to keep pushing yourself further and further. So that can also like kind of mess with your head a bit. So reading for me, like once I hold a good book in my hand and when I start reading, I just completely forget about all of that. And in a way, it helps me calm my mind down and like take me to a very comfortable place where I can actually like focus on one thing rather than like I tend to overthink a lot. So when I start reading, I just tend to focus on one thing and like get my thoughts together. So,
You must be busy, as you said. You have training, you have meetings to go to, and all that. With all these, okay, how do you try to incorporate reading into your schedule?
I don't really force it. So whenever I get the time, I do read. It's not like I have a schedule to read like a specific time, nothing like that. So like because I love reading. So on like days where I feel like I have a bit of me time, I take a nice hot shower and I get on into the bed and then have like a nice tea and a cup of tea and a good book, and that's one. And then there are other times like when I go on vacation, I usually like take a good book with me, and I just whenever I can.
So is it only when you're free like that, or like let's say you're going for practice and on the way, do you read something like that?
Not really. Not when I'm not on the way and stuff. But if there's something that I need to learn, then yes.
Definitely. Let's say there's a young generation who are looking forward to read, who want to get that habit going. Yeah. What is that one piece of advice that you would give them?
Piece of advice. This is something that I tell myself whenever I try to start new things. It's to just start, because starting is always the hardest. It's quite overwhelming. Like if you think, oh my God, I have to read, I don't have time for this, I have to do this, I have to do this, all of that thing. But then start, take one step at a time. You don't have to read like continuous for like hours and hours. Take a few minutes, start reading, just start. That's like the most important thing.
Why do you believe that people should engage in reading? Why do you think they should read?
Reading is fun. You get to imagine different scenarios in your head. Like if you look at the TV, they give you everything, right? Like let's say the plot, everything is shown to you, so you don't really have to imagine anything outside that. But when you read, like you can just make it all up in your head. You can imagine the characters the way you want them to be. the places, how you want that to be. Like nothing is really forced; it just comes to you, right? So like, it's fun. Reading is fun.
A little bit more like putting a little bit of effort into reading also, like you have your own story.
Exactly.
You imagine yourself as a character there.
Yeah,
Nice.
you can imagine yourself in the book as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With that, we come to an end of this session. Thank you for joining us. With that, it's Krishan signing off. This is Why I Read, hosted by Pick a Book and in collaboration with Barista.